There is a transfer battle for Bruno Guimarães between Arsenal and Man City, and the battle is really on, and that's what you're going to be talking about. Toni Kroos went ahead to play his last game for Real Madrid in Spain, and his last game is going to play for them. Is going to be at Wembley next week on Saturday in the Champions League finale, as the side of Real Madrid tussles it out with the side of Borussia Dortmund. Then Kyle Walker, having gone ahead to lose to the club of Manchester United yesterday in the FA Cup finale by 2-1, he has come out and obviously, slated his players of how they failed to recover to coming through and obviously win against the side of Manchester United. And that's what ticks the box of mentality in there for you. Let's see close to 300 likes. Smash on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. It's a Sunday, 26th of May 2024, and we are here to see to it that you guys continue to subscribe such that we hit 22,000 subscribers. Continue to subscribe and the results will be really given. You can as well become a member of our user-friendly YouTube channel by obviously smashing the join button and subscribe to it. You understand? So that is exactly what is happening this side, and let's obviously get into the mix. Now, we have a source called Simon Collins. He's an Arsenal correspondent for the Evening Standard. He has told us that Arsenal and Man City remain interested in Newcastle midfielder Bruno Guimarães ahead of his release clause expiring in a month's time. Prospective bidders can sign Bruno Guimarães by activating his £100 million release clause before 24th of June, when it's set to expire. You understand? Now, it's concrete on both sides. They really want Bruno Guimarães, both Arsenal and Man City. It's like we are going back to where we were last season, where Arsenal came up and really put up a shift, and the shift they put up was really very huge on Man City, and they lost Declan Rice. I tell you, if you put Declan Rice into that Man City side, a lot changes this season, or the previous season. And that was evidenced when even the manager for the team I support, Erik ten Hag, came out and really had something to say about Declan Rice, that he would have gone ahead to transform the side of Manchester United very low if at all joined Man United, and is a very good player. But he said he doesn't regret because they had Mason Mount. But you all know that there is a huge difference between Mason Mount and Declan Rice. If there was a chance for Erik ten Hag to choose between Declan Rice and Mason Mount, he would go in for Declan Rice. But the problem with Man United was the budget couldn't obviously afford him go for a player of £105 million. Yet they had to bring in a striker, Rasmus Højlund, £72 million. They had to bring in a goalkeeper, close to £50 million. They had to bring in which other player did Manchester United sign last summer? They brought in Onana, Rasmus Højlund, Mason Mount at £60 million. You get? So those are the players. Atil Bendair was in also. So Manchester United had no money. That's why they never went ahead, obviously, enter the race, because they need to eat that. Man City and Arsenal really had the money. And even Man City was like, we are only getting you £95 million. We are not giving you add-ons. They made one bid, you get, and they're not exceeding it. That's why Arsenal came in front and said, we are getting you £105 million. And for that, we're not exceeding that. And Arsenal won the rest. Now, these two teams are yet into a battle of Bruno Guimarães again. And we don't know who is gonna win this. I cannot tell. If I tell you who is gonna win this battle, I'll be a liar. I don't know who is gonna come out and win the rest, because the cold harsh fact, this player would love to play for Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola. So it's written all over the world that who can really clear off the £100 million. That is the huge question. Who can clear off the £100 million? And I know Bruno Guimarães will be like, any team that comes in through, if it's Man City or Arsenal, I'll go in for you. I brought you a story like 2 days back, I think, about Bruno Guimarães, as Arsenal had gone ahead to hold what we call positive talks for signing Bruno Guimarães, but the deal was not that close. But Bruno Guimarães has given them assurance that he wants to join the club of Arsenal. Now, Arsenal has to do what we call the due diligence, to go all out and pay the amount of money And after paying that huge amount of money to the guy known as Newcastle, then they get the guy. But there are stories making rounds that Arsenal is not willing to pay that amount of money. You get? Meaning that Man City, if they can pay £100 million, then they can get the guy. But the big question is, do Man City want Guimaraes to be their priority signing? You know, that is the huge question. To show you how huge they are in for this guy, known as Bruno Guimarães, we have a story that has been put out by Jacobs Ben via his X account. He said Man City have approached Bruno Guimarães' camp as they look for a player to complement Rodri. And like the fact Guimaraes can play as a number 6 or a number 8, West Ham's Lucas Paqueta is still a potential target as well. Now, with Lucas Paqueta out of the picture, because he might be even banned for 10 years, and I think Man City aren't going to go for him because close to 2-3 charges have been really put on him, and he needs to obviously go ahead and really answer them. That puts Man City in a situation of going in for Bruno Guimarães. You understand? Because Lucas Paqueta would have gone ahead to be a cheaper option, because Lucas Paqueta would go for like £80 million. Is it 80, 85? Yet, for this guy, his buyout clause is £100 million. And maybe Man City will be willing to obviously say, maybe Man City and Arsenal might be saying, we aren't gonna go there until when the 24th date expires, such that we can negotiate a deal at a lower fee like £86 million. Because for the side of Arsenal and Man City, £86 million would be a bargain for this guy, and maybe the 14 they save would help them elsewhere. So that is exactly what is happening. The situation of Bruno Guimarães, Man City and Arsenal are really battling out for the player. And I tell you, whoever takes in that player, he would have gone ahead to get in what we call a very good player. The player is exceptionally good. He's exceptionally good, I tell you. He's a very, very, very good player. And he does a lot when it comes to obviously playing into those positions. And he's a multi-dimensional player. As I told you that, in the modern game of football, it's always saying for any club to go in for a multi-dimensional player, because the more you really go in for multi-dimensional players, a lot really goes your way. I tell you this, a lot really goes your way, because with injuries coming in through, you might having one player to serve in 3 or 4 better positions. For example, look at Arsenal. If Declan Rice could only play as a number 6 and couldn't play as a number 8, how could Mikel Arteta go ahead to obviously find himself doing the needful if at all Thomas Partey came in through? Thomas Partey is one of the certified CDMs in the world. So because Declan Rice could play as a number 8, that's why Mikel Arteta found it easy to integrate him with Thomas Partey in that midfield. So you now know exactly what I'm talking about. You saw it that in the game Arsenal played away at PSV, Declan Rice came in through and played as a central defender, because you also know that he first played as a central defender at West Ham and was really moved into the CDM role. That's how good that player is. So I think it's going to be a very huge battle. We don't know what decision Arsenal is going to be making on Bruno Guimarães, but they also have another battle for a player called Douglas Luiz. But Man City have a cheaper option, because there is João Neves, who plays for Benfica. He goes for 100 million euros. That is like 86 million pounds. So, but the difference is Bruno Guimarães is a Premier League proven player. If I'm Arsenal or Man City, I break the bank, trigger the buyout clause, and really get in Bruno Guimarães. I tell you, I go Bruno Guimarães because I believe Bruno Guimarães is ahead of Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz is that exciting and younger, but Bruno Guimarães is a player that Arsenal has to get in as up, as Partey is leaving this season, and as Partey leaves this season, you have to look through which midfielder could you bring in later if you don't get in Guimarães right now. You know, Partey is leaving and Jorginho will be leaving next season. I think Jorginho is just having 1 year left sorry, 1 year left at Arsenal. They went ahead to extend his contract, but he's having just 1 year at Arsenal. That is next season. After next season, I tell you, he won't be available. They will sell him off and see to it that they get the best of the player. So that's what we're going to hit to hear from Arsenal. The battle is on. Who is going to be winning that battle? The Lord God knows. Because in the situation in which we are into, you cannot come out and predict the financial stance of Arsenal. They went far in the Champions League. The same applies to Man City. And when you look at the revenue that's going to be coming in from the Premier League season, Arsenal is not going to earn as much as Man City is going to earn, because Man City is going to be earning a lot of money because they won the league, and Arsenal will be second because they're into the second position of the Premier League table. Now, let's leave that at that, and let's go to Kyle Walker. Yesterday, Man City were beaten by Manchester United 2-1, and Manchester United had to win. And we saw to it that Garnacho in the 30th minute, then Kobe Mainoo in the 39th minute. The other guy that came in through was all about Jeremy Doku in the 87th minute, but they couldn't obviously break down that defense of Manchester United to make it 2-2 or go to extra time and win. Now, Kyle Walker, the captain of Man City, has come out and really issued a very huge statement that has been really criticizing to his fellow players. He said, "We celebrated the Premier League title win on Sunday. That is last Sunday. This is Saturday. It is 6 days. If us athletes can't recover in 6 days, we've got no chance for everyone. We had to take the moment on Sunday because if you're celebrating now on a downer, it won't feel right." So, why won't it feel right? I don't think that the vibe is going to be the same in Manchester when they're really making their trophy parade for the Premier League. The reason as to why they really try to do their trophy parade on the 26th, today, is because they thought that there was no way Manchester United was going to stop them from really winning the league. Sorry, winning the FA Cup. Surprisingly, Manchester United came up and really beat them hands down, and they are now on the losing side. Now, them being on the losing side has costed them a lot, that the vibe is not going to be the same. Sorry about that. The vibe is not going to be the same while doing what we call the trophy parade today in Manchester. And you know what that means? You know, the spirits are really going to be low. The fans are really going to be facing the fans of Manchester United, because Manchester United is also going to be having fans holding their replica trophies, you know, on the roadside, telling them, "You've gone ahead to win the Premier League. We beat you in the FA Cup." You understand? If a team from another region or from another city had gone ahead to win the FA Cup, it would have gone ahead to be okay. But Manchester right now is red. Last Sunday, Manchester was blue because Man City had gone ahead to win the Premier League. You get? But this Sunday and Saturday, you saw to it that Manchester is red. That is it. So, and you saw the vibe when Manchester United wins, everything turns red. The vibe is really high, and I tell you, the morale for Man City fans is really down, and I don't know how they're going to lift themselves up, especially the players, to come in through and really do the trophy parade. But all in all, the trophy parade is going to be made. The trophy parade is going to be made, and Kyle Walker is really criticizing his players that if we can't use 6 days to recover, to come in through and really face Manchester United, then we are not doing the right job, you know? And he's right. He's right, because Man City has all the quality, but Ten Hag had all his players back, and I warn people that Manchester United is going to shock Man City if Man City doesn't score many goals, because I knew to it that Ten Hag was going to make it hard for them to score, and I'm going to hate to see a tweet coming in from Rafael Varane on the plan they had, obviously stop the side of Man City, and you'll find all that onto the United Matters channel, and you won't miss out on anything coming from that side. So congratulations to Man United. They're going to be playing in the UEFA Europa League next season, and that is exactly one of those things that you will never forget to celebrate. In a season where the team I support finished 8th, they finally gonna hit to climax it on a high with an FA Cup to go in the UEFA Europa League and at least celebrate that. And Erik ten Hag is the first manager to win a trophy in his first 2 seasons in the post-Sir Alex Ferguson era. Now, Toni Kroos yesterday, he had played his last game and he posed with all the trophies, the 22 trophies he has won at Real Madrid after his final game at the Santiago Bernabeu. 4 Champions Leagues, 4 La Liga, 1 Copa del Rey, 5 Club Cups, 4 European Super Cups, 4 Spanish Copa Cups. That is Toni Kroos for you. And I think let me bring a close-up of him to you. That is Toni Kroos with Florentino Perez, the president of Real Madrid. So this is the cult, you know. It has become into a cult. Every time a player is leaving the side of Real Madrid, he has to obviously pose for that photo and obviously send it to the world that this is the world where a lot is really going in through, and you've been at one of the biggest clubs in the world, and that's what you've gone ahead to win. That is Toni Kroos, obviously bidding farewell to the fans of Real Madrid, and he prays to it that he wins another Champions League on Saturday next week, provided they beat Borussia Dortmund at Wembley, because it's gonna be his last club game. Competitive club game. He's retiring after the Euros, and that is Toni Kroos, and wants to be with his family. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Bruno Guimarães, Arsenal Man City battle on, to Arsenal All Man City battle on. Where do you think he's gonna end up? Where do you think he's gonna end up? And what do you make about Kyle Walker criticizing his fellow Man City players for downing tools when playing against Man United in the game that saw them lose by that saw them lose to Man United by 2-1? And lastly, what are your thoughts about Toni Kroos, him retiring and left with 1 game to go? May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims Barakallahu fikum. And we sign out. How many likes on this video? 300 likes on this video, and let's go in for subscribers, because we are left with how many subscribers to hit? 22,000 subscribers. Let me check here before I obviously sign out. I really want to be accurate, you know that very well, for those that have been watching this channel for a very long time, we are left with 16 subscribers to hit 21,200 subscribers. So guys, let's do the needful and subscribe. After subscribing, the rest is gonna be history. A 5-finger salute to everyone watching in through. Ciao, ciao.